Rod and I are both from Israel, but ironically we met in New York in 1996. Our first couple of years in New York were just simple and easy. Rod has this very visual side to him that he was falling in love with, realizing that's something he wants to pursue. And I always was a producer type. My goal was really to do that and be the person that 5 years from now would be sitting with all those executives over lunch and selling them an idea for a 12-part series. Rod was starting to work as a real cameraman, getting a nice chunk of money, and he thought, great, I'm a cameraman, that's all I wanted to do and I'm doing it. And life got complicated once we had our first daughter, once we had Ella.
When I became a father, life changed, priority changed. It gave me a sense of urgency.
As he was sort of growing up and maturing, his passion started to shift to all the things that are wrong in this world and what can he do about it.
There's something that's called a mid-age crisis, and usually it's about when you're 40 or 45. For me it happened when I was 30.
If you're a cameraman and you just have to stand there for hours holding a camera, documenting something that makes no sense, that it will drive you nuts.
I found myself holding a camera 2 o'clock in the morning in a bar with drinking people in front of me, making out. And I have my wife and I have a baby at home. It's just such a disconnect about my life and what I care about and the job that I just did.
He was just everything is so shallow. Everything that I work on is so shallow. It never goes to the real issues. It never really deals with the issues. And is that what I want to do?
To keep my sanity and to really give me a space to realize what I want to do, Lilac went to work and I stayed at home with Ella for about 6 months.
Rod became this Jewish mother at home, and like most Jewish mothers, he was just obsessed about feeding us.
Joining the food co-op meant for me that I can buy healthy food for my family in reasonable cost.
So it's all the same thing?
For the first time in my life, I really got the sense of how big the issues and the problem are with food.
Rod comes home from a food co-op shift with a lot of paperwork, lots of pamphlets, and they outside the food co-op they have information about things, and he would just collect everything and bring it home, and he's like, read. Can you believe this? Can you believe we have genetically engineered stuff in our whatever pasta? Can you believe there's hormones in this?
קישו. פעם ראשונה קישו, פעם שנייה קישו.
I had 2 jobs at the time, working outside so we can buy food, and I was at home with my child as much as I could, trying to be a full-time mom. When Rod started bringing all this stuff and buying videos and all stuff, it was something that became like a 3rd job, because he was basically pushing, we got to do something about it. We got to do something. You can't ignore this. This is too important. This is what we feed our daughter. And he was right. He was right. I couldn't ignore it.
We want to touch the organic movement, sustainable movement, and versus conventional. We want to do the genetically modified food, to touch on that subject.
At the same time, we were trying to keep our social life and still have those great dinner parties, and even that wasn't really fun anymore, because instead of just having friends over and talking and enjoying life, it was all about food and food issue and what's in your food and what you don't know about your food, and it would get people very, very agitated.
I was very angry, and it created shouting and arguments with my friend to a point that I didn't want to see them as often, and probably they didn't want to see me as often.
When he would talk about consolidation of media, people were like, okay, whatever. But when he talked about pesticides in food and people getting cancer and asthma rates going up, how can you ignore that? I mean, how can you say, oh, have nothing to do with me? And so people got upset because he just didn't let them eat. He just didn't let them enjoy dinner for most part. And then he also ruined their dinners for the next week. Here we are. My very passionate husband is driving me crazy. He's definitely picking up fights and driving all of our friends crazy, bringing more and more information, asking me to do something. And finally he came one day, he said, we just got to do something about it. And at that moment I said, okay, fine, let's do something.
I forgot how basic is food.
We have all the maps, right? We don't need any maps in here.
No, we don't need any maps. Hearing all these controversies and issues around food and the food systems, I don't know, it's like, but in the end, it's something that I consume 3 times a day.
I love my husband, and I want this relationship to last, and I want this relationship to last forever. And it felt like we were going apart, and like we were going in different directions, and I wasn't even sure what they were.
Okay, I'm done with my list.
Well, and yes, it was about food. You know, it definitely was about food, but it was more about, you know, our family.
It's the first time in our life that we had some money in the bank. We can actually buy a home. So we said, home documentary.
Oh my God. I don't think I ever paid so much for one thing.
Leave it there.
We had no idea what we were getting ourselves into.
You live in New York or any other big city, and you don't have a clue about how food is produced.
When I saw that the food the supermarkets were feeding us could kill my own mother, I knew that I wanted to feed my children food that was raised in a different way.
This guy died over here, this guy died over here, and they all died of cancer. And they would spray every day.
Farmers don't make money, chemical companies make money. Food processors make money.
Idaho Code says you are supposed to protect our health and our air and our land.
Our rights. This is our rights.
You're not doing it. How much money are you getting? Yeah, how much?
Growth hormone, the only thing that's used to do, kind of throws them in a time machine, makes them grow faster. It's basically what it does. We're trying to build the best cow for the cheapest amount. You know, that's part of business.
We're forecasted to have a storm tonight.
We're probably 10 days late now. It's costing us tons of money. We have too much on our mind that I don't need to deal with this freaking fridge.
So this is the line that says whether I'm pregnant or not. Looks like I'm pregnant.
The children of today who are from birth fed hormone-laced milk and antibiotic-laced meats and pesticide-sprayed produce. How is this going to affect them 20 years from now? Well, no one really knows.
Basically, I want to serve something to my family that I know that is good. But the question, what good means?
In the United States, we have the safest, most nutritious food supply of any country in the world, period.
I want my children to be happy and healthy. And I don't think I could be here.